Then I'll come back.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Episode 3.
Yes, boss.
How are you, my brother?
Good.
And you are always churning out great music. You know,
Thank you.
Wahala Day.
Yeah.
Did Atia and all those songs. Recently, you did some. But you are out with a new one that will be played on the show today again.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
We're about getting into the conversation proper. And my brother, Kwesi Ote.
Yes. Legendary.
Bro, how are you?
I'm good, boss.
It's Galamsey Day for us today.
It's necessary.
Because it's affected everybody regardless of your religious, political orientation. So we need to talk about it. So good to be here. 0551111 is the WhatsApp line. If you have any question, any comments, you can just send them via this number. What do you think can be done to end Galamsey? Yes, let's hear you now. Now, Uncle Ken.
Yeah.
Your initial commentary on Galamsey. I know you've been following the recent back and forth, the protests, the matters arising and everything regarding Galamsey. May I know your initial, take on this?
Okay, Kwame, you know something. As a child growing up,
Uncle Ken, I do idea, and yes, I'm coming here, and some painful say, so would if fear now, Sanko Fa, Yenchi.
Okay,
Mr. Me, I did be to Biaba.
Marty.
Then I'll come back to you.
Marty.
So, this is a documentary on Galamsey produced by Erastus Asaridonko of Joy News, award-winning Erastus Asaridonko, and he did this particular documentary on Galamsey. Let's take a listen to it for a few minutes, and then when we come back into the studio, Uncle Ken, I give you the ball again to kick.
Water is life. And we can liken that to the blood in the human body. It circulates to every part of the body and makes it function. Imagine polluted blood or contaminated blood, poisoned blood, going through your fingers or any part of your body. That organ ceases to function. Today, the lifeblood of our very existence, the soil, the trees, our ecosystem, fruits, vegetables, agriculture, every part is being poisoned in a quest to make money, to look for gold. Vast resources like these supporting our ecosystem is being poisoned by mining, irresponsible mining. In this documentary, we're going to look at our various sources of water, the pollution, the contaminants, levels of poisoning, and how that is affecting your life, your very existence.
Meet baby eggs, preserved in formalin at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for observation. He or she is not your normal baby. Baby X is deformed. It has no genitals. It has 6 fingers and 6 toes and a malformed head. This baby was discovered by Professor Osei Sampini, a pathologist, scientist, and a senior lecturer with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
The first case I had was in the Western North, which is BBNE to be precise. The mother was sent to the labor ward. She couldn't make it, so she died. And you see, whilst the person dies, usually the doctors will not go ahead to do cesarean section. The baby and the mother are sent to the morgue, and then another person comes in to remove the baby.
This was after the autopsy to separate the baby from the mother, who died before delivery.
The baby or the fetus that was in the mother's womb was deformed. Deformed in the sense that the baby had multiple limbs, including, I'm talking about upper and lower limbs. The eye was not well formed, fused together. He had no sexes, that is, there was no identifiable sex. And generally, I mean, in medicine we call it dysmorphic, where you could not see anything that makes the baby, I mean, if he had been even born, would have lived comfortably in life.
Professor Sampini traces the cause of the deformities to heavy concentrations of lead, mercury, and cyanide found in the placenta.
Mercury, cyanide, lead, and arsenic, yes, in that order. They were all there. They were all there. Of course, in some appreciable concentration that could be damaging to the normal function or the normal development of the DNA, the baby, and so on and so forth. Once it is in the placenta, naturally to be in the baby, because the placenta is the only means by which the baby gets his feed. Even the oxygen the baby gets is from the placenta. Everything that the baby gets whilst in the uterus is from the placenta.
Baby X is perhaps the strongest proof ever of how heavy metal contamination can alter the developmental stages of a fetus, leading to extreme deformation in babies.
I was surprised because medicine evolves. People have done studies in some of these things. So if you see them in the literatures, the books that you read, the biology books, the pathology books, anatomy books, the histology books and all those things, sometimes you see them, you feel these are things that are just because that they are just like toys or something that do not exist, people's imaginations. But when I saw it, then I realized that yes, it's true.
Baby X's preserved body is a grim presentation of an unseen danger lurking in the midst of communities affected by irresponsible mining and the selfish pollution of the Ghanaian environment for gold. Professor Sampini has so far seen and tested 4 of such babies with extreme deformities. He has similarly found disturbing levels of lead and mercury in all of them.
I had a similar call to go and get another one done. That was in Central Region, Dinkwa Hospital. And the same thing was found. Then comes other cases in the Ashanti region, where another one was also found to be in a similar manner. And then the Western region, again, where another one was also found. Then I realized that there should supposed to be some correlation here. And that correlation is what? The spillage of what? Any pollutant, any form of pollutant into the system, to the ecosystem, where we need to actually address. Then I decided, look, let me just now get all the placentas labeled, parts of the babies, these fetuses, parts, organs, like the kidney, the liver, these vital organs. Let me just take bits and pieces of them and then do some work, laboratory work around it, and see what could be the reason.
He concludes that this is a grim reality of a possible widespread catastrophe which needs further public health research on a large scale.
The conclusion is that heavy metals are in the system. When you read other literatures in Ghana, we have realized that, oh, well, people have done some work in water bodies, soil, and probably the atmosphere. But let me just say that not only that, now it is gone beyond that. And I told you, this work is not something that I can boldly say that it affects everybody. But those ones that I've done, only 4 fetuses that I've done, I believe, and I have seen that the heavy metals are there, were found in them. And so that is why, maybe in addition to other factors, other environmental factors or genetic factors or something, the stimulant could be just the heavy metal.
One way baby X's mother may have been exposed to mercury is through inhalation of vaporized mercury through the smelting of gold in Ghana's rural settings. This miner is mixing mercury with gold-containing material. The mercury traps all the gold to form a silver-looking solid or mercury-gold amalgam. He takes the amalgam to a gold dealer to sell. At Konyao, a small farming and mining community in the Bekwai municipality of the Ashanti region, Kofi Asare works as a gold dealer. He represents the over 1,000 of such gold buyers who have pitched camps like these across the country, smelting, weighing and buying gold from mostly illegal miners.
I buy them gold dust many. So and by the gold dust too, there's a mercury inside. They use mercury to extract the gold. So you need to use fire or gas to heat it.
He heats the gold mercury amalgam he gets from these artisanal miners with a blowtorch or sets them on fire to vaporize the mercury in obtaining the gold. The process produces a poisonous white foggy looking vapor which fills the immediate environs.
When you are burning it, the smoke starts coming out. So it can come out for that period. So I can, if the substance is very big, I can use almost 30 seconds to burn it. So that 30 seconds, the smoke can stay for that 3 to 2 minutes. Yeah, can stay. But if it is small, less than 5 seconds or to 10 seconds, I'm done with it. So that one, it doesn't stay for long.
After 8 years of doing this job, he suffered a major health blow about a month ago.
I was at work. I saw that my hands was shaking, my body was shaking. I couldn't even stand my hands for some. You see, it's shivering, but that time it was very high. Okay. And I can't even hold pen to write. I can't even hold phone, hold water to drink. I was feeling I was very hard to do it. My intestines were the same. It was really shaking. I feel like something was inside my body. I can't take food. If I take food, I used to vomit.
But Asare is not the only person exposed. He is silently poisoning the entire community. The mercury vapor eventually settles in the surrounding environments such as in the air, water, sediments and soil.
You even see it move out. So if you're having windows, it move out. But if you're not having windows, it stays. I feel very sad. I feel very, very sad. But there's nothing that I can do.
This vaporized mercury is highly toxic. and is especially very toxic to pregnant women and their unborn children. Professor Sampini explains why.
Infants, children, and even let's say embryos, things that are being developed within the mother after conception, when the mother is now, the baby is now being formed. These are places, or these are areas that are able to absorb most of these things. Either by inhalation, the mother will inhale it, goes through the blood, and then the child gets it through the placenta. It comes in so much so that if it is so much that the baby can even bear, then the mother may have to abort the baby, because the baby cannot continue to grow in such an environment. So it becomes so poisonous, and it becomes poisonous to the mother. So the mother will have to abort it. But if for some reason the baby is able to grow with it and be delivered, then it comes to what we call congenital anomalies of various forms. Some of which having the child having multiple limbs, limb growing from the chest, limbs growing from the the shoulders, the pelvis, the back, limbs even growing from the abdomen, and also and then sometimes you may have conditions where the stomach wall is not formed by skin. You see something translucent, very plain thing that you can see the child's intestines, the liver, everything.
In Ghana, these gold smelting centers are scattered across the rural terrain in Galamsey-prone.
Joe 99.7 FM. So this is an excerpt of the part 1 of a series of documentaries on Galamsey by Joy News' Erastus Asari Donko. And we're still here talking about Galamsey. We are getting into the creative perspective of Galamsey here on Showbiz A to Z. You can send in your message now, 05511119997. What do you think can be done to end Galamsey? Send in your thoughts now. Let me say that we have in the studio Episode, who is a musician. We have Kwesi Ortain, also a musician. DKB will be joining us later on Zoom. We have Uncle Ken, a broadcaster, in the studio. Chief Moment is also here. Bull God will be joining us online as well. And then we have NY DJ from Kumasi, who's a broadcaster, and then another broadcaster from Cape Coast will also be joining us later on the show. Now, let me get to Uncle Ken again. He was on the floor before we cut in with this documentary. Uncle Ken, so, yeah.
Yeah, Kwame, you asked for my initial comments.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because I honestly would like to hear from the creatives before I make my own deductions out of what they say.
Okay.
But initially,
all right,
as a child growing up in primary school, one of the first adages that I was taught was a stitch in time saves 9.
Yeah.
At the time, I did not wholly understand the adage. I thought it was basically to do with you wearing a pair of trousers and the seat of your trousers being too tight. So therefore, if you try to squat, part of the trousers will go beep, and there will be a snap in the stitching. So I looked at it from that point of view. That a stitch in time saves 9 is once you get that stitch going, and then you have to stitch it to avoid further parts going unstitched. You know, because back in our day, the trotro was very, useful for everybody, and it was the bone shakers, the wooden ones, that you had to climb.
Arrow grass,
mere glass. There were no glasses then. It was the wooden ones with no glasses. It's just,
they used to call them arrow
planks. Just the planks. And you sit in it and the air just blows on you all over the place. So later on, I realized that what it meant was, if you had a problem, it was important that you identify the problem and solve it before it gets worse. Basically, that's what that adage means. You know,
Yes.
that's what that adage means. A stitch in time saves 9. You have a problem, identify the problem, then you can solve it. The problem we are having today, and I keep asking myself, have we really identified the problem? We are all talking galamsey, galamsey, galamsey. But what is galamsey? Is galamsey the only problem? Is surface mining a problem? Other forms of mining, are there problems? We have not been able to find out exactly what our problem is. And we are talking of a solution. And I find that problematic.
But Uncle Ken, scientists have come out to give us, proof to show that this illegal mining is causing harm to society.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I'm saying that we have a problem. And I've seen so many people out there
Yeah.
making reference to the fact that, oh yes, we have this problem of galamsey. Let's nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
And people use that term, nip in the bud. And that is also another problem in itself. Because what does nip in the bud mean? Nip in the bud means before the problem blossoms, you should kill it.
Okay.
That's what nip in the bud means. Nip in the bud refers to a flower.
Okay.
Now you might have a poisonous flower, and while it's in a bud and it's poisonous, if you don't cut off that flower and you wait for it to blossom, you have a problem. That's what nip in the bud means. And so when I hear people after problems become cancerous and refer to it as let's nip it in the bud, it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I said to myself, I don't think we really know what we are talking about. So this issue that you want us to discuss today is multifaceted.
Okay.
And it's a very serious problem. And I think that before we can do any justice to it, we must identify exactly what the problem is.
Okay.
If we skirt around it, and because it suits us, we only talk about a particular portion of the problem and leave the other, we would never have resolution. So basically, that's what I want to say before we even start our conversation.
Okay, thank you very much, Uncle Ken. Let me go to Chief Mumin. Chief, hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Not a very pleasant occasion, but we have to deal with the realities of our existence.
We have to. Okay, so I'm taking your initial comment on galamsey, the fight that we've been waging in recent times.
Well, I'm not sure there's even an initial comment, We just go right into action.
Get into it.
I mean, I have been terribly traumatized over these past couple of weeks. Obviously, but galamsey is a main issue, but the reaction by the government has been exceedingly traumatizing for me, and it shows a lack of urgency and priority. And I say this particularly because of the reaction of the government to the treatment of the 53 young people who on their own decided to protest against this menace that we are all complaining about. And these people were arrested, and I don't even say remand, they were imprisoned, because that was the sole purpose of the Attorney General, was to imprison these young people, to show them where power lies. And for 2 weeks they spent time behind bars. Even some of our most hardened criminals who are convicted for rape and murder and all corruption and all sort of social ills are not given this treatment and are able to get bail once they are arrested, so that they can go through the court proceedings. But through the machinations of the state, these 53 young people were sadly imprisoned. And in recent memory, this is the largest number of people to have been incarcerated at a go by the state. If you look at the indecent agency with which these people were were arrested, arraigned before court, remanded. The indecent agency with which even the judicial system was willing to curtail the rights of these young people. And I'm thinking, if government could approach the menace of Galamsey with that level of urgency, would we not have at least been able to make a progress? So what this tells me is that if government wants to get something done, it gets it done. Because we're in an imperial democracy where the state is vested with unlimited powers, if you like. We like to pretend as if that there are checks and balances in our system. But if in a so-called democracy, 53 young people can be incarcerated using the law, when we all know that what they did was a clear violation of the law, and the entire society was quiet to watch, even the so-called legal experts, the moral society was quiet. For me, I became very scared. It showed me that our democracy can easily crumble given the right incentive. So we are all living in an illusion that we're in a democracy. The Fourth Republic has persisted for almost 3 decades plus. So we're a beacon in the sub-region. But if you look beneath the foundation, all it takes is a madman to run this country amok. So for me, it was an eye-opener. It was an eye-opener not just because the state was willing to do that, but because the society was incapable of reacting, of calling to order, and the moral society was incapable of holding the government to account. And so if I look at this in a nutshell, this gives me an idea of why we're in this crisis. And now, Uncle Ken said what is the problem? I have clarity, at least in my mind, of what this problem is. And for me, it boils down to the inefficacy of governance. And I'll tell you why. We've been mining gold in our parts, when I say in our part, in this geographical territory we now call Ghana, for well over 1,000 years. Right from the era of the Ghana Empire. The Ghana Empire's greatness was based on the gold that came from the land. All the way to the Mali Empire. The gold that Mansa Musa was supposedly, traveled with, from Makkah, from Mali to Makkah, came from these parts, because in their geographical region themselves, they didn't really have the gold. The gold came from the forest areas. So a lot of gold came from this part, all the way to present time, through the the era of colonialism. The amount of gold that we actually had to take out through all those centuries. So gold mining is not a recent phenomenon. So if we are seeing an adverse effect of that mining, then it tells us that something has gone wrong. Hitherto, they used simple methods to mine gold. They didn't use chemicals. They didn't use all kinds of machines, right? But now we've come to an era where gold mining is a huge industry. And it's a huge industry in such a way that you have barely 2 forms of mining, if I can put it that way. One is the huge industrial mining, where you have big mining companies like the Anglo Golds and all of those things. That industry is very well regulated. So even though I believe that all forms of mining causes degradation to the environment, but there are at least strict protocols that they adhere to. Now, the problem we face with the illegal mining, or Galamsey, or whatever term you have to put it in, is a free-for-all. It's a mad gold rush. There's absolutely no regulation. Or even though there are regulations, there's absolutely no implementation. So the only interest and consideration is to get the gold out of the ground. However we get the gold out of the ground, whatever the consequences of that getting gold out of the ground, that's secondary, of no interest to those who are doing the mining. Get the gold out of the ground. So if they have to take the chamfans or whatever they call it onto the river bodies and dig and dig and dig and cause the turbidity of the water to rise, they do not care. If they have to use chemicals into the river bodies to get the gold out of the ground, to wash out the gold, they do not care. So there's a mad rush. But you ask yourself, why is there this mad rush? My reading is that we've had bouts of campaigns against illegal mining. We can't pretend that illegal mining started today, right from previous governance. Even with this government, there was a huge campaign, I believe, from 2016 all the way to 2017, and there seem to have been, policies and measures being put in place. But then we took our eye off the ball. And when we took our eye off the ball, for me, what I see is that then they were saying that people were like, okay, this is an opportunity for us to go in there and make money as much as possible before there is another nation-wide uproar. So between the time that we did the activism and we kept quiet, I feel that that's mad rush happened again. And there was an indecent frenzy to mine in the river bodies, to mine in the forest reserve, to get as much gold out as possible. And the figures confirm it, that if you go to those who buy the gold, and the UAE is one of our biggest, buyers of gold. They, in their receipts, they have billions of dollars. I think at the last count was at 8 billion. I stand to be corrected. But you come to the government end, where the official records show that there's a huge disparity. So you ask yourself, if, for example, government is recording 2 billion, and those who are buying the gold from Ghana are recording 8 billion, what is the difference? And it shows you that the difference is in billions of dollars. Of course, not all of it comes here. There are all kinds of cartels who deal in gold. But when you have an industry that is generating these billions of dollars and is going directly to people's pocket, you bet it's a mad rush. And we know that, and let me conclude my initial comment by saying that we have a political... Pardon? Oh yeah, I mean, we know that we have a governance systems where our political elite will make money from wherever money is. So procurement, there is money. So you often find politically exposed people, complicit in taking advantage of procurement to make money. In road contracts, there is money. So you find politicians there. Everywhere there is money, you find that politically exposed persons are deeply involved. So do we innocently and honestly think that in an industry like gold mining, like Galamsey, that has little regulation or where regulation is not implemented, where billions of dollars of gold is mined and exported out of the country, we will not find politically exposed persons and politicians involved? So when the entire governance structure is corrupted, when the government executive, when the legislature, when the security services, when the judiciary, in one way or the other, are all complicit in a national canker, do you think that we are going to find any honest solutions? Because what we are then asking our leaders is to repudiate themselves. So for me, it is a failure of governance of the state across all levels. And a solution, and when I hear people preferring all sort of solutions, we're going to provide jobs, I'm like, these solutions will go to nothing. The problem with this country is not a matter of solutions. It's a matter of governance. It's a matter of implementing the laws. It is a matter of holding people accountable who violate those laws. If we are willing to hold innocent protesters accountable, we are willing to bring the entire state machinery on them, it shows me that when government wants to wield its power, it will wield. Our governance system is the government is currently incapacitated to do so. And unless there is a deep revolution within that governance, whether within the political parties or whatever, for me, our cancer, the cancer of Galamsey, will continue to metastasize until it becomes something that we can't deal with anymore.
Thank you, Chief Mumin, for your submission. We're still here talking about Galamsey. We're tapping into the creative's perspective today, and we have in the studio episode Kwesi Otin, Uncle Ken. Chief Mumin will be going on to the phone line to speak to some other guests. And YDJ from Kumasi, Manike from Cape Coast. We'll be going to the UK to speak to Austin Wood. And in the meantime, we have DKB on the phone lines. Now let's speak to him now and also get into his perspective on this issue. Hello, DKB.
Yes, I was.
I hope you're doing well. Senior Jesu.
Yeah, demo.
Any ya demo. My brother. I know you've been following this whole Galamsey protests.
Keenly.
Have you been part of any of the protests yet?
Yeah, I mean, I've been supporting and I've been part of it, yes. But just that, lucky for me, I escaped arrest. I don't know how it happened, but it so happened that I wasn't among those who were caught, and I didn't get a 3-day participation, so maybe that helped me to be outside there, fighting for the court for their release and championing social media presence for their cause.
DKB, to you, what do you think is really the cause of Galamsey?
Galamsey, the cause of Galamsey is compounded. You see, one, unemployment. Two, irresponsibility from leadership. Three, structural hardship. So structural hardship, in economics, when we say structural unemployment, it's unemployment as a result of your qualification not fitting the job available. Like you did vocational skills, but the job available is nursing. You are not a nurse. So that's structural unemployment. So when we say structural hardship, it's hardship brought about by system failure. So many people were laid off from the banks. Banks were closed. Workers laid off. So many people. Many companies who closed their Ghana branches and all of that. So the pool of unemployment is full again. People must find ways and means to survive. So definitely you're going to have an increase in illicit activities to make money. For example, Galamsey, because I've been sacked from the bank. I'm used to 10,000 a month. What job can suffice that 10,000 a month? So if a friend offers me Galamsey, they will match me 500 cedis a day. 500 cedis a day, Monday to Friday, 2,500 a month, 10,000. I'm back to my 10,000. I will do the Galamsey. So it's the structural failure and structural unemployment. That's a major cause of the Galamsey. Plus, the regular unemployment you deal with. And then the irresponsible leadership. You are there, you see the chief who is supposed to protect the land, moving with the Chinese, taking money from the Chinese. There will be impunity. Because if you see the videos coming from the Galamsey side, the boys, they speak with so much impunity. You took Galano and fire on you too. They are talking from somewhere. There's a court. There's a court. That if those who are responsible were not responsible, we can take things into our hands. So if you listen to them, they have no fear of repercussions because they know that whoever is supposed to deal with them is even hands deep into the same thing. So the Galamsey is a very big issue, and reason why I love the fact that creative arts people, which is us, are involved is because we bring attention to issues much easier, and we drive the people because we are creative persons. We are established in the hearts of people. So when we speak, people listen a lot. So if our leadership, I would have used the creative art people to bring attention and awareness to it. I'll use the chiefs to monitor the activities and also, make them action agents. And then I involve the military. I think stopping Galamsey is not rocket science. It's not rocket science at all. Now, you decentralize the control. Whether you like it or not, land resources is directly towards the traditional councils. So the chief who is, aligning with the Chinese to do whatnot, now you empower the chief to stop Galamsey. His integrity and dignity will be at stake because now it's public. You see, the reason why they have a leeway is because there is no national directive, say, so yes, they are secretly involved. But now, if we make it public awareness, say, every chief is supposed to, from his traditional area, help stop the Galamsey, and then the soldiers there are there for enforcement of the directive. The chief will have no option than to align. Because if you want to stop Galamsey and you want to use only soldiers, the country is too big for that. And whether I like it or not, the traditional leaders are the first point of contact if you want to reach the traditional folk. If you want to go to the hinterlands, the villages, and etc., the traditional leaders are the first point of contact. That is why, if you're going to do a show in a village or in a town, they tell you, go and see the Mankralo, go and see the Manche, go and see the Jasinche, go and see the Koswahili, and whatnot. So, the chiefs are, whether we like it or not, very integral part of the process to stop the Galamsey. It's so simple. Form an anti-Galamsey unit of the military. Our military train for war every day. There's no war. They are there. They want to shoot guns. They want to kill people. They train for war every day. No war. You see, when the Ashama boys mess up and they are going to deal with them, you see some of the videos. They're so excited. They are there. no war in Ghana. So they have so much energy. It has to be put to good use. So anti-Galamsey force or anti-Galamsey unit of the military, they will enforce it. They will take the report from the chiefs, and then they will go and enforce the law. Simple as that. Because if the chief says no, you, the ordinary citizen in the village, you cannot say yes. Who are you? You get it? So, because we're in a democratic state, and whether I would like it or not, the president's authority, it can only get far. When you get to the traditional nitty-gritty, some people fear their traditional leaders more than their political leaders. So rather take advantage of that, use the chiefs to control, to stop the Galamsey, and then use the military, anti-Galamsey units. You can even form one in the police so that they'll be doing the prosecution when they get the suspect. And then use the military, anti-Galamsey unit in the military, or anti-Galamsey force in the military, because it's military force, they enforce. And then the anti-Galamsey unit in the police. They will fast track the prosecution, and then you have the chief in charge, and then everybody else can come on board.
Okay.
But if it's going to be a daily discussion, bro, we have been discussing economy of Ghana since talking point in the 80s. Where has it got into?
DKB, please stay on the line for me. Okay, please stay on for me. Yeah, stay on for me for a while.
And I have one more thing.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, please. So stay on for me. Let me get to Kwesi Oteng. Kwesi Oteng is a musician as well, and he's been following this whole Galamsey issue. Let me pick your thought on this. Your general impression, your general impression on this whole Galamsey menace that is ravaging society. What do you think of the protest? What do you think of the various organizations calling on the president to talk and all that? Your impression?
Oh, well, with the protest, I think that we have a democratic state that every citizen has a right to voice their views and opinions about situations that they find, whether that leads to our development as a country or is taking us down. As much as I believe that that also must be done in a way, that promotes peace and and all that. Okay. The situation about Galamsey has been a situation that, as a young person, I've grown to hear about it, but I was hearing about it in a small scale. Like people were doing it small. At a certain point, of course, that whole idea has with itself the name. There's a certain negative vibe that goes, of course, illegal mining. But what I'm realizing now is actually like irresponsible mining, because it's not just some small boys who want to go and mine some hole or something. This now, it has moved to gadgets. It's moved to trucks. People who are doing these things are owning millions of dollars, and they are pushing it main scale. I hear that in 2013, over 50,000 Chinese people entered the country. Do you understand? To mine. They didn't come to work and get money before they start mining. They came with money to be able to do this. The situation has grown till now. It has become a situation that, as a country, this may be our last opportunity to deal with it. Governments upon governments have turned the responsibility to another government because it tells on the votes. And so you listen to the conversation, everybody try to massage the situation. We massage the situation. They don't deal with it in a certain way. If you promise that you're going to fully abolish the situation, they will make sure that they will replace you in a certain way. But that situation has created a situation where right now it seems that the whole Ghana is waiting to turn their tap on and see that the Coke Milo is coming out before we will now say that, hey, then now immediately people may start understanding the protesters and how maybe they are not wearing suits to do the type of protest that they are doing it. People may understand why they are they are not controlling how, it's not like Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi style. People because I would wish that it was a Martin Luther or a Mahatma Gandhi style. But the day that we open our tap, that the debt is virtually coming out. When I was coming here, I did a research and I was looking at where our water bodies pass, and I realized that it runs through Densu, River. But then when you realize, when you look at the Densu branches and maps, some of them branch into the same river that is dirty, and all come and settle at Kaswa, the Wager Dam. You see. And I also now heard that some parts in Kaswa, when they open their taps right now, it is dirty, which is crazy. It means that eventually, if we don't take it within the next year or two, the whole Kaswa dam can look like all the other type of dams. But it looks as if that when things are happening in the middle belts of our country, it's like, oh, it can happen, you know. It's like, okay, God will solve it for us. You know, because I mean, you look at the situation. I was looking at the Shamfan situation, that the machines he mentioned. The machines are sitting in the middle of the rivers, like there's no drones, there's nobody watching. I was wondering, so our forestry ministry, you know, like what I mean, what is it protecting? Because it's a forestry ministry. It's supposed to protect. You understand? Not only plant trees, it's also supposed to protect and our lands, forestry and lands. I'm like, I mean, like, how that people can build a factory on top of river, and it is several Shangfang which came through our port. So I'm like, so who are the people who work at the port? Like, don't they ask that what is this machine for? Or like, do you understand that? So it's like the system have closed their minds to the situation. Perhaps some of the wealthy that do these things also support governments. I don't know how, like, the forces of the land has not gotten aggressive. Of course, they sometimes act aggressive as if it's a one-time. That action that currently I've seen that the soldiers are back. The military are back there, you know, trying to clear people from the water bodies and things, you know. I wish that can be consistent on a daily basis. Not like 1 week something, then when the nation, because as for the water, it is changing. And eventually it will reach us all. Everybody will enter everywhere. Where, you know, it's some way. So I think
so one of the things that the organized labor and the president agreed on before calling off their strike was to deploy additional military personnel. And so it says that the president has directed the Ministry of Defense to deploy additional military forces to intensify the ongoing Operation Halt, which aims to curb illegal mining activities. The operation will be bolstered by the development of naval boats on polluted river bodies to ensure the immediate cessation of all mining activities, legal or illegal, in and around these bodies. So this is just one out of the 4 things they agreed on before calling off the strike. Let me come to you, Episode. You are creative, and I know you've been talking about this. You've been doing songs against things like this for social change. There were times that people were calling out certain celebrities on social media to come and talk to or speak to this issue. Why do you think some creatives are unwilling to speak about things like this?
Okay, so I'll speak from where I stand. I think being a creative, we've been able to there's a certain mindset and a certain narrative painted that if you actually decide to use your creative abilities to actually move in directions like that, you would not be able to exactly where you're looking at disadvantages like your family's being attacked. Even I have faced that actually from when I dropped Wahala Day. I was getting serious threats and calls and all of that. But I believe that is also a lonely road to trod as a creative, knowing I would want to go that direction because of maybe my upbringing, or one of the reasons why I decided to do music. Because if I'm growing up and then I can still be here 2024 and actually use songs from Bob Marley's and all these legends as references in our daily lives, then it means that a decade from now my song should also be used as a reference to some of these things. It's not only about the parties, it's not only about jamming. Yes, we need monies, we need to put food on our table, but then again, I believe that me as a musician, my message or where I stand, I should be able to use that for the voiceless. I should be able to represent my people.
Okay.
You understand? So people would not come out because of their individual reasons and because of their affiliations to some of these parties and organizations. But even if you're neutral, you can be bought. You understand what I'm saying? It will get to a level where you would actually be asked to, be submissive or actually be paid to not show up on some of these things. I would not be going out there like, yes, maybe mini room, but what would I use? Is my voice, is my lyrics, is my sound. And I believe I've always said that as a musician, I stand to be corrected. Sometimes we are even more powerful than the preachers, because then if a preacher is here and he's saying repent, it will just be a handful of people listening. But if it's the same message put into melodies, into rhythms, it will still be passed on, even if it's danceable.
Repent.
What I say? Exactly. now we hear all these things even in the clubs and stuff. So I feel like it's not really something that we need to take for granted as creatives. It's not even only these topics. I believe that we actually we have the numbers. We carry that kind of aura where the ordinary person would want to idolize. So if we come out, if we use our little small ways, our little fan base, our little era of social media, it's not fair that we have to go through buses to the next regions to actually speak about some of these things. But just a tweet, just a mention would actually send it worldwide. I believe that we have to do it.
How concerned are you about Galamsey as an individual?
It's sad because I read something from VOA this morning that they made a quote that if we are not careful, in the year 2030 we'll be actually importing water. And it is sad. Like, water is life. You understand what I mean? I miss the days where you would want to just go, maybe Koligono boy, maybe Mamprobi boy, want to just go to the beach and swim. But then we are maybe an important church. So it's not really even I would not stand here and really direct it to only that aspect. I think is some of these problems are even bigger than what we are facing now. So what will we do without water? Because even our bodies, the studies shows that there's a bigger percentage of water in our bodies. You understand what I'm saying? So if we're not able to the basic thing that can actually drive the normal human being, we're not even taking care of it, then where are we going? You understand? We'd rather be paying attention to certain things that doesn't really matter. Up till now, they are still teaching us about God and Godisberg in our books. when no, but what I'm trying to say is like these are some of the things, because now you're looking at 10 years from now. Whatever we're putting in the presses now would also be there for the next 10 years. So if rather telling me about somebody's history, he has done it for his people.
He was part of our history.
I understand, but my narrative is,
I get you.
If we can update some of these things, because yes, the regular person in wherever he's minding, I don't think would actually have books like that to even learn. But through some of these things, like our songs, our documentaries and all of these things, would actually tell a different story a few years to come. So all I'm saying, it's not really bad that we have, like, our schools are still learning that, but we need to update some of these things so that some of these knowledges will be passed on.
All right. Episode here, we're still talking about Galamsey and what to do to make sure that we end this menace. They call it menace. So 0551111997, you can send in your thoughts now. In a moment, we'll be speaking to Austin Wood, who is a broadcaster in the UK. Today we are just getting into the creative artists' minds and their perspective on Galamsey and the fight against it in recent times. This has been with us for all these years, and the conversation has been reignited again amidst protests and arrests and religious marches and prayers and all that. Now, let me get on to Zoom now and speak to Austin. Austin, good evening.
Kwame. to Uncle Ken, Chief Moment episode, and Kosi Otain, and everybody who's joined us for this wonderful discussion.
Okay, so Austin, for a long time we've been talking about galamsey and its effect on society, and in recent times it's been topical on radio and various media platforms, and we're here as creatives to delve deeper into it. Let me take your initial submission on this whole situation.
Thank you very much. Like all speakers have said, and I don't want to belabor the point, we've all come to an agreement that illegal mining is an existential threat to us, and we are speaking about it. But I have a big problem with how the current discussion in Ghana has gone. And the biggest problem I have is with the media and also we, the citizenry. I think that this fight we are fighting, we would always fail to win it if we go the tangent we have gone in the last 6 weeks. And that is something people with political power or politicians have seen, that weakness in the typical Ghanaian. So they've been able to exploit that for generations. And that is all what they have done in this particular discussion. It's a classic Soviet Union tactic where you are asked, will you kill your mother to protect Soviet state secrets? Classic. So it's a double-barreled question. Will you kill your mother to protect Soviet state secrets? If you say yes, you are the bad child who has no empathy. If you say no, you do not love your country or your state and you are unpatriotic. So in this particular discussion, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation to segregate us, to push us to far ends of the debate so that we will not come together to be able to look for a solution and ask for accountability from those in authority. Kwame, why am I saying this? First of all, everybody in the studio and every Ghanaian believes that our water bodies, our forest, that is the flora and the fauna, are going bad. Erastus has done this, and you just played a story he has done where babies are being born with deformities. The Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, they've put out a whole document talking about the challenges we face. So everybody in Ghana believes that we face a problem that can lead to the death of many. But we are being told that those who are speaking against it and going on a demonstration are doing so to influence elections that are 3 months away. So immediately that is thrown out there, people will say, okay, if I join that fight, will I be seen as someone who belongs to those who want to influence elections that are 3 months away? And that is the problem I have. And the media has fed into that propaganda, misinformation, disinformation by political actors. And that is why we face the current situation we face. And you realize when Kwesi Otin was speaking, he was being very careful about it as well. Why am I saying this? When we say, first of all, that this galamsey fight that we are talking about, illegal mining, why have we waited, that is Democracy Hub and other Ghanaians, to speak about it now? I think that it is not correct. The media should first correct that thing being put out there by political actors, because it is a classic case to put all of us at one end of the debate and at the other end of the debate, so that we don't find a solution. Erastus Asaredonko is the 2022 GJA Journalist of the Year. for works that he did in 2022. The works he submitted to win that was on illegal mining. So why are people saying we are now speaking about it? If you listen to Joy FM morning show, the year 2023, and even in 2024, for the upteenth time, they've discussed illegal mining. Erastus has been on both in Kumasi Love FM and also on Joy FM. We have talked about this continuously. So how do somebody just get up and say we are speaking about it? We are demonstrating with just 3 months to elections. Why doesn't the media correct that assertion? Now, we are being told that what we are doing, what we are speaking against is for election purposes, which I disagree with. Because we have spoken about Galamsey since 2010. We have done works on it. People have done songs on it. When Stonebwoy did a song on Galamsey, you can go on the internet. When Stonebwoy, aside the song, went to these illegal mining places, was it 3 months to elections? The reason it has gained prominence 3 months to election, and I'm putting this out, was because the Ghana Water Company Limited 2 months ago put out a statement, that is the Central Region branch, put out a statement that the water that they are treating for us through our taps has been destroyed by illegal mining, and that it has reached a certain level which is making it difficult for them to treat it for consumption by humans. That was treated on Newsfile. It went viral on social media. So people said to themselves, wow, we keep seeing these things. But for the Ghana Water Company to come out with that statement, it means that it has reached alarming levels. We need to speak about it. At that time, nobody even cared about elections. So reason we are speaking about it now is because of that particular statement put out by the Ghana Water Company Limited. Were they also doing politics? Were they also doing it because it's 3 months to elections? We shouldn't be doing that. Now, for creatives, Kwame, I think that we have a huge voice. We have a huge voice, and I keep saying this for the upteenth time. Politicians only come to us when they can benefit from us with few months to elections because of the power we wield. Why am I saying this? When we say creatives who have a huge following should help us in things like what Democracy Hub did, people are afraid because they will be tagged. And that is what the politicians have done. They have put this out there that is political, so you will not be able to support it if you are creative because you don't want the other side insulting you, the other side attacking you. But look at the voice creatives have. Imagine creatives like Messiah Siedu, Nanama McBrown, the influence she has, Kwame Dadzie, Sarkodie, Shatawale, Uncle Ken, Kojo Yankson, Kwame Sefakai. If all of us come together and say, please, this thing that is happening, the Minerals Commission is in charge of granting mining licenses. Why are we granting licenses to people who are in our water bodies destroying it? Which part of our security agencies is supposed, and you see, Kwesi Otin raised a brilliant point. Who is supposed to man our water bodies and check our security agencies? The Forestry Commission is in charge of our forest. Are they doing their work? If creatives come together, nobody can say Kwame Dadzie is NPP or NDC. Nobody will say Kojo Yankson is speaking because he's NDC and wants NDC to win elections. Nobody will say Shatawale is NDC or NPP and that is why he's speaking. Creatives are from different political backgrounds. If they come together with one common voice and say, Minerals Commission, you are supposed to check those you give licenses to to know if they are doing it legally. You are failed. Sit up. Security agencies, you are supposed to check. Are you doing it? Forestry Commission, you are supposed to do it. Are you doing it? Look at the powerful voice creatives have. But we are not able to do that because the politicians know that once they determine and put it out there that this particular issue is political, nobody who wants to stay apolitical would want to speak up. And that is the challenge I have always had with how politicians do to us as citizenry, because they would pack us into box A and box B. And Kwame, before you come in, I even disagree with those who say we should not politicize this. What is that word? We should not politicize what? Illegal mining. We should politicize it because the only people who wield the state power to stop illegal mining, that is a threat to your life. That is a threat to the life of my grandmother in Akumadan. That is a threat to the teacher in Tumu, Hamle, Hafasini, is those who have political power. It is politicians. Can Kwame Dadzie stop people from doing illegal mining? No. Can Uncle Ken stop people from doing illegal mining? No. Kwesi Oten cannot stop. Austin Wood cannot stop. Episode cannot stop. If Moment cannot stop. The only people who have power to stop people from doing illegal mining are politicians. So what do people mean not politicizing? I think that they confuse politics with partisanship. You say it should not be analyzed on partisanship basis. I agree. But to say not politicize it, so let's not politicize it. Should it be what the Charterhouse, who should go as a creative space, Charterhouse, who should go and stop illegal mining? Charterhouse cannot stop illegal mining. Musica cannot stop illegal mining. Actors Guild cannot stop illegal mining. It is politicians who have the will power, who we have given all our power, state or power to, who can stop it. So we should politicize it. We should call them out. Because where we are going, we don't take care. That water we are supposed to drink, now the water bill comes, it's gone up. The reason it's gone up is Ghana Water Company is spending 15 times the amount they would normally have used to treat your drinking water, now to treat it. If you check the SIGA report, State Governance Authority, Ghana Water Company has a debt, is making losses of over 5 billion. Just 2023, they made a loss of 3 billion. Why? Because of all this. They are spending hugely to treat water. They cannot pass it on to us, all that cost. Then we are saying we should not politicize it. Do I choose who becomes Ghana Water Company head?
Okay, Austin, hold on for me now. Let me come, let me come in house and talk to Uncle Ken about this one. So, Uncle Ken, we've been talking about this for a long time. What really is the way out?
Kwame Mabre.
Obebre.
I started off by telling you a stitch in time saves 9. Now we've allowed 20 stitches to happen. We've passed the 9 to 20.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I'm saying? You've passed the 9 to 20.
We are 98.
Thank you. We are even over 100. And we are now trying to find out how we're going to curb the problem. Please, when we are blaming our society, let's blame everybody in the society.
Yes.
Let's not apportion blame to certain people in the society. It is true from what Chief said. At the height of control is governance. So when anything goes wrong in the society, we look up to governance. But I tell you something. When I hear people within the places where this illegality takes place, before I even carry on, Chief, Do you know the difference between Galamsey, small-scale mining, industrial mining, prospective mining, large-scale mining? Don't we have laws
That governs it.
that will let us know what small-scale mining is, what it allows small-scale mining to do, what we allow industrial mining to do, what we allow whatever to do, and who allows people, even in industrial mining, to go on water bodies to mine? I understand there are laws that does not allow that. There are laws that does not allow people to delve into places that they are not supposed to go. But what happens? In our mining societies, these laws are just abused. And nobody does anything. That's where I agree with you when you talk about a governance problem. Because who are supposed to make the laws work? It is the people in authority who are supposed to make the laws work. So if they don't, we blame them. And I agree 100% with that. But then I come back to the point that within those mining societies themselves, do they know the effects of what they are doing to themselves and to the inhabitants within their setup? Do they really know? I was fortunate to be at a place yesterday when I bumped into a very prominent person who is into business. He's a contractor and he has a small scale mining concession. This is what he told me. He says, "Again, I have a small scale mining concession." So I got interested and I said, we are discussing this issue tomorrow. Now you can educate me a bit more. When you say you have a small scale mining concession, what are the parameters of a small scale mining concession?
Yeah.
So he set out to explain to me what he meant by a small scale mining. And he said something to me. He said, "Uncle Ken, when we equate Galamsey to a small scale mining person, we are doing something very wrong. Because now we are painting the picture in the Ghanaian public that even small scale mining are Galamseyers. But there's a stark difference." He said to me, "Do you know what the Galamseyers do? Galamseyers are people who do not go and even seek for a license. Because we sought for a license, we were granted a license. We employed professionals to go and prospect on our concession to find out if we are likely to get something out of that place. When we found out after spending so much money that all we could get from our concession was something very small, we held back. And even though we have a license, we have not bothered to continue. Another reason why we have not bothered to continue is the fact that the area, when we got the license, we organized a deba within that area where the chiefs and the people came. And they applauded us for wanting to come and prospect for gold in their place. But eventually, when we found out what we were going to get from the place, the chiefs and we said to the folks, we will keep prospecting. If we are able to get so much money, this is what we will do for you, for your community. The chiefs came back to tell them, no, we are not interested in what you are going to do for our community. Before you carry on with whatever you want to do, we want a certain amount of money from you. Now, when I heard that, I said, wow. He said, yes. So the money they were asking was such that we didn't even think we were going to be able to make that amount from what we were going to do, so we didn't bother. And we still have that concession there, but we haven't bothered. He went further to tell me You know what the galamseyers do? They go from place to place. They dig.
They don't get them.
They don't get anything there. They don't bother to reclaim the land. They move elsewhere and start digging again. And so they keep digging. And because they're not getting anything there, they just go around doing that to the environment. Oh, let me finish. Jawasem, let me finish. So,
Again, please continue.
I said to him, what about this issue of the water bodies and mercury being found in our water? You know what he said to me? He said, you know what? When we were prospecting, do you know what we did? We first of all dug a borehole. Right?
Yeah.
This is what the man told me. He said, we first of all dug a borehole. And you know the reason why we dug a borehole? We dug a borehole because we wanted to go by the rules of our license, that we were not supposed to go and wash what we have in our river bodies. So we dug a borehole and we created 2 or 3 ponds whereby we pump water from our borehole into those pumps when we dig and wash. And then we moved to the other one, whilst the first borehole that we used is, the dust or the it settles. So by the time you come back to it, you'll have water on the top, which is clean.
Yeah.
He said that's the method we use. But the galamseyers can't be bothered. It is easier for them to go and wash whatever they dig in the river bodies. And what happens is that because of that, even the people who are supposed to be licensed and have the industrial machines to mine do the same in those waters, because the rivers are easy water for them to use.
So I think that's where Chief was trying to get.
Yes.
Because some of the registered
Are also using illegal means.
Yes, they're also using.
To say a vast majority of them.
Yes.
Because there's been concerns that, in the last couple of years, mining licenses have gone up astronomically. I know that there's a whole controversy. The government says no, but at least independent actors we are seeing are telling us that mining licenses have gone. So just people just go for these mining licenses to cover their backs. But when they go to the field, they couldn't give, any attention to what the regulation is. And they are in fact, these same galamseyers, in a bid, to give themselves, a face of legitimacy, would go for the mining licenses, but in practice, it is actually just a mad rush.
Okay.
That is the problem we are facing. We are now frantically digging everywhere. You come back to me, right?
All right. And again,
Chief, thank you. No, I haven't finished. Sure. It was.
please continue.
Chief, I was interested in the conversation because of today's program. I was interested to find out from him why he had invested so much money and had decided not to go and mine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't bothered. The company has not bothered to go and mine because, according to him, they are interested in following the rules and the regulations that surround mining. But the inhabitants within the area are not even giving them the chance to do so. You're talking about, you know what I am very, very angry about when this whole mining matter comes? I'm very angry about the fact that after the initial attempt in 2017, 18, 19, thereabouts, to combat this, and it failed, we came back in 2022 to enact a law that allowed people to go and mine in our forests. And I said to myself, how? Don't we know as a country that whenever we enact laws and allow people to do certain things, it goes haywire? Because we can never police our laws. that is what has made the situation worse. Now we are saying that we are going back to Parliament to annul that law that we enacted for people to be going into our forest reserves. And I say to myself, already, why did we do that? Do you know why we did that? We did that because who was it who was talking about? Somebody spoke. I think it was Austin.
Austin Wood.
Austin, who was saying when we say it is not political, we are joking.
Austin
and
said
yes, because it became a political matter. It became a political football. And people said, let me try and protect my political position in governance by doing something to appease the people who did not vote for me because I attempted to stop their business.
Lose the vote.
This is the problem. And I'm saying to you, Kwame, ya kasa. And unless we attempt to stop this partisan politicization. When people talk about politicization, there's a difference between politics and partisan politics. Politics, every day of our lives is politics.
Yes.
But when it becomes partisan, it means we take a stand, whether good or bad, because of our political interests.
Good.
And affiliations.
Good.
Into Kwame, as for me, I'm saying my final contribution to this topic today will be about what the creatives can do.
All right.
To help.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Uncle Ken. And we're still right here on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. We're talking about Galamsey and the creatives' idea or perspective on this particular issue. And we have two more people to speak to. We're going to Cape Coast and Kumasi to pick the thoughts of other creatives right there. But not until after this one.
I'm saying that Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Many mistakes have been made by countries in Africa already with free SHS.
Akufado, minya wudienye, wuye bwe, Bawumia, minya wudienye, wuye bwe.
Hey, Mami Jamefua, why are you so excited this hot afternoon?
My sister, when I remember what Free SHS has done for me and my children, I can't help but be happy for what Nanado and Dr. Bawumia have done. You remember when I lost my husband who was the breadwinner?
Yes, I remember very well.
There was no hope for my 3 children to go to school until Nanado and Dr. Bawumia introduced Free SHS. Now my children, Kofi, Esi, and Kojo, attend all these big schools. In fact, do you know they are saying they want to review it? That's one. Some of their people are saying that they should cancel. Others too are saying they should make some people pay the fees.
Hey, they want to do their thing again. Who is going to pay and who will be going for free? They want to push we the poor people aside and start using their connection men and protocol to access the Free SHS life-changing policy.
That is why we have to do everything in our civil rights to make sure they don't come and spoil this good thing for us.
This Free SHS policy that Mahama and his people said is not possible. But now see,
it is possible. This year, we are voting to protect the Free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home. Shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is. Where the passion is. Where the laughter is. And sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 1 has been a journey of great impact. From the application process to the selection of participants, the MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 1. The millionaire investor Dr. Daniel Macaulay is staying the course of grooming the next generation of multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs for Ghana. Ghana's unemployed youth population is growing exponentially by the day. A private sector intervention is needed to lighten the burden of employment on the government. The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge is one of such privately funded initiatives. Ghana, are you ready for the second edition of the MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 2? In this edition, 15,750 applications were received. 80 applicants have been selected for the real showdown. So watch out as these 80 business ideas are put to the test in the battle for the ultimate prize. Who will succeed? Who will fall out? And who will win the $100,000 cash prize in the MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge Season 2? The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge is brought to you by MacDown Foundation. The MacDown Entrepreneurship Challenge, coming soon.
Explore a world of limitless opportunities, life-transforming experiences, and self-discovery on Springboard, your virtual university. Learn from industry experts, CEOs, and changemakers as we empower you with the practical tools for climbing to your next level. Join host Reverend Albert Okran every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM and online on Facebook and YouTube. Catch the repeat on Joy Prime every Saturday at 6 a.m. Partners MTN Ghana, Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Grows Program, a collaboration between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard Roadshow Foundation. Media partners Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic. Springboard, your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Charlie, this year's elections, I am really confused. I don't know who to vote for.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. They be bien Juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo bejim. Say akoko na person hwe poultry farm ketu ebi near mao akoko bono near ton koko na mao near mao eduane a wo de beto eduane sika wo de beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goat. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs would be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all, oh. Let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow! Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th. I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Bawumia. Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Bawumia's vote, yem fan cheche.
And yeah,
Vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
The biggest food, drink, and music festival is returning this October. The Eat, Drink, Music Festival is back. Let's go! Get ready for 2 unforgettable days filled with the best food and drink vendors, top DJs, and amazing musicians. Join us for an experience like no other, featuring world-class performances, a variety of local and continental foods, drinks, and fun activities like a celebrity cooking competition, esports, arts installations, photo booths, cultural exhibitions, a kids' play area, and so much more. Location, Good Park, Accra Mall. Dates, 26th and 27th October 2024. Time, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Get your tickets now on all networks by dialing *714*500#. For more information, visit www.eatdrinkmusicfestival.com or call us at 0550-188-888. Eat Drink Music Festival, the ultimate festival experience.
It's time to take action and create your prosperity.
Hi there, this is Lucy Quist, author of the book and convener of the conference, The Bold New Normal. I would like to personally invite you to this year's paradigm shifting conference.
Speaking, Patricia Obonai, CEO, Telecel Ghana, Bernard Avle, General Manager, CTFM and Channel 1, Valerie Labi, CEO, Wahoo, Dr. Yao Pebi, CEO, Heart Group, and many others.
In addition to our seasoned speakers, I will host the masterclass.
Make a date at the Pearly Gates Gardens, East Legon, on Saturday, October 26, 2024.
It starts at 8 a.m. sharp.
Purchase tickets at lucyquiz.com and Eagle Tickets or dial *713*33*121#. The Bold New Normal Conference is brought to you by Platinum Sponsor, Margins ID Group, Sponsors, Stanbic Bank, Delta Airlines, Type, Media Partners, Dominion TV, Joy 99.7 FM, Sunny 88.7 FM.
You don't want to miss this.
The Bold New Normal Conference. Take action and create your prosperity.
Let me see those hands, let me see those hands, let me see those hands, let me see them, come on.
Ghana, are you ready? The Hits FM Hottest DJ is back with a bang after a long break. Hits 103.9 FM brings you the Hottest DJ Tertiary Edition. Yes, you heard me right. The Tertiary Edition. Are you currently enrolled at a tertiary institution? Do you have what it takes to be the ultimate winner for this year's Hottest DJ competition? Are you looking to showcase your DJ talent to the world? This is your chance to shine. Join DJs from all universities across Accra to battle for supremacy and prove your worth as the next hottest DJ. Come, showcase your flair, style, and swag to be crowned the next hottest DJ. For further details and inquiries, send a WhatsApp message on 0531 003813. 0531 003813. This year's edition promises to be better and mega. The Hottest DJ competition is brought to you by Hits 103.9 FM and partnered by Joy Prime. The Hits FM Hottest DJ, unearthing unique talents.
Charlie, this year's elections, I am really confused. I don't know who to vote for.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. They be in Juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo be gym. Say akoko na person share poultry farm ketu ebi near mao akoko bono near ton koko na mao near mao eduane a wo de beto eduane sika wo de beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goat. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs would be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all, oh. Let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow. Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th. I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Bawumia. Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Bawumia's vote, Cheche.
And yeah,
Vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
The luckiest *712#. Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah.
Welcome and non-fufua. A daily *712# and found no regrets. A side comma investors are a striking gold. A comma health workers are a diagnosing luck with precision. A side comma that tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. Say a comma passionate fan or also entering containing a joy. Afraid to the seamstresser or turning a hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, a comma if you say your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere.
Dial *712 hash and join the luckiest winning celebration. From the 1st of July 2024, dial *712 hash to keep buying tickets as a group, individual, or even as a community. Win loads of cash and prizes in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with *712 hash. Join the winning streak now.
The luckiest
*712 hash.
luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah, the luckiest.
Are you ready to get way more chances to win with Betway? Every single day, you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana cedis jackpot. All you need to do is to log in and take your spin. Exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
Africa is rich and not poor. Prove to the world that when the African is given a chance, he can show to the world that he's somebody. Joy 99.7 FM. Waking, we shall no more go back to sleep anymore. Today, from now on, there is a new African in the world.
Many years I'm counting, still not in the right. No. Plenty pledges and promises. As to my hobby life. You tell me you go keep my picking good education, but tell me if the future is bright. We know they care about your big English, big grammar, know they pay bills and I. My people they suffer, people they cry, but you know they care. I'm a little bike at 2 chop and basa basa. Ule mi echi chaka chaka. We blood to ama kata kata hanya hanya. Kama debe mi ajolo kaba kaba. The price of fuel they go up higher higher. Liga mine efe nuwe hiya manya manya. Why we gonna run go me bossa ne my maya. If we not go fix it we not go run. So them they lie with confidence. They chop the money so them printing more currency. Freedom of speech but they want to come arrest me. Come back she cap and you could die for emergency. We say I promise a man and to my country at the place. See we know they understand cause you think it just be poems. We they sell everything, tell me what he go let. I come the land of gold, now they beg bread. Joe boy, Joe boy. My people they suffer, my people they cry, but you know they care. Get the time look masikepa otona. Joe boy, Joe boy. My people they suffer, people they cry, but you know they care. Joe boy, Joe boy, Joe boy. My people they suffer, my people they cry, but you know they care. Get that you pay one kepa elmina. Joe boy, Joe boy. My people they suffer, people they cry, but you know they care.
And that's Chobo in the background music from episode. This is Wahala Day 2. And you guys should come see the hits in the studio. Off mic heat in the studio. The conversation is still ongoing right here. We've been talking about Galamsey and getting into the minds of creatives on this particular one on Joy 99.7 FM. Yes, and this show is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. But get ready for a game changer SMEs. We are introducing Yellowbiz, our new multi-service bundle with everything you need for smarter business solutions. This all-in-one package consists of 4G router with 10 gigabytes of free data, Microsoft Office 365 genuine Microsoft application. We have also WizBiz, a customized business website for your business. Not forgetting Unicom Service, a unified business communication solution for your virtual call center, IVR, and conferencing needs. All for a very good deal you don't want to miss. With MTN Yellow Base, your business will gain access to advanced productivity tools, a powerful online presence, and superior customer experience to optimize your operations. So stay ahead of the competition. Just call 100 or 0244308111, or you can email us at mtnbusiness.gh@mtn.com. Are you ready to get way more chances to win with Betway? Every single day you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana cedis jackpot. So what are you waiting for? Log into betway.com.gh today and take your spin, all thanks to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Ghana to say, we'll be out here, dear. Are you a human resource practitioner or business executive who is interested in digital transformation and AI adoption? Then mark your calendars for the Global Conference on Human Resources in Africa. Join us on October 24 and 25 at the stunning Labadi Beach Hotel to explore the emergence and dynamics of artificial intelligence and human resource technologies in Africa. Hear from Johnny C. Taylor Jr. He is the president and CEO of SHRM Global, and other distinguished speakers from around the world, including Dr. Francis Eduku, who is CEO of CHRM Ghana, Irene Asari, who is Global HR Executive and board member of the BBC News, David Segawa, who is Group HR Director at Equity Bank Limited, and Dr. Najat El Mahdi, who is Chair of the Qatar HR Forum. Engage in interactive sessions, panel discussions, educational seminars, HR hurdles, and more. And that's not all. On October 25 and 26, join us for an exciting 2-day excursion around Accra and Cape Coast. In the meantime, let's go straight to the phone lines. We're going quickly to Kumasi and Cape Coast. Yeah, we're taking the thoughts of some creatives right there. Let me do that quickly. Let me go on the phone lines now and speak to... Hello?
Kwame.
NY DJ is in Kumasi. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well. Yourself?
Fantastic. How is the Galamsey situation in Kumasi like?
Well, I'm sure as you might have seen online and on all other platforms, the Ashanti region continues to suffer the effects of Galamsey. So a lot of people are actually talking about it, and we are just hoping that whatever cries and whatever it is that we are calling for could actually be done. But apart from that, like I said, the cry for the fight against Galamsey has been on.
Okay, on the part of creatives in the Ashanti, in Kumasi, to be specific, what have they been saying about Galamsey?
Well, I'm yet to see a number of them get vociferous about this fight. Some of them have actually spoken about it on social media. They've joined the whole call as the Galamsey Must Stop trend was going on. But apart from that, I've not seen them go beyond that. But I'm tempted to think that the cry or the loudness of that has not been felt yet, especially with the Ashanti region, even though this place actually suffers from the effects of Galamsey.
When you listen to conversations about Galamsey on Kumasi media or radio, what have been some of the solutions they are proffering to this menace?
Well, I think one of the things, they tend to look at it from different angles. One, the fact that those who are involved seem not to even understand the impact or the effects of what's happening or what they are doing. Again, some of them cry from the fact that, listen, if we should actually stop it, how are we going to survive? How do we eat? Do you get it? So, I mean, on social media, yes, people have complained and all that, but when you listen to conversations on radio, they make you understand, especially the MCs and all those from some of these areas where Galamsey is ongoing. They paint a picture to let you know how difficult the fight against Galamsey will be. I remember listening to one of them, and he made mention of the fact that, listen, you can have a conversation with the security operatives or something and tell them that, listen, on this day we are going on this trying to clamp down these people. The information gets leaked. By the time you get to the site, the people are not there. So you are wondering what exactly is happening. So, I mean, people are proposing solutions and saying, listen, let's clamp it down. Those who are into illegal, let's find a way to get them out. Others are also saying that, listen, these people are not doing it by themselves. We have influential people who are at the top and financing them to do some of these things. So if we really want to tackle it, then we should be looking at the head as well, and not just these young people. So there are a lot of things that people are actually proposing as to how we can go about this fight against Galamsey.
NY, how important is the role of creatives in fighting causes like this one?
I mean, it's very important that creatives get involved in this call. And I always say this, that Ghana's first president, Kwame Nkrumah, understood the essence of getting creatives in his government. I think whenever they wanted to go on campaigns and all that, they were either using these comedians or these people who do Kiso concert party and all that to be able to drive home the messages they wanted to send across. That means there was an importance, there was a relevance. I mean, in Ghana, we keep talking about the fact that creatives can actually change the narrative about this country. I remember when the vice president had the Meet the Press where I was, I remember telling him that we could actually change the narrative of this country if we invested with the creatives in telling the story of this country. Look at how Year of Return and Beyond the Return has been very influential for this country. What has been the benefit? It's basically because of creatives, the tourism destinations and all that. So if creatives are able to come together, perhaps send messages with the effect or the harmful or the impact of Galamsey on these communities, they have a large following. It's definitely going to trickle down. There are people who talk about Galamsey. I found myself in a barbering salon. We're having a conversation about this. And there are individuals in these mining communities who do not even understand the impact of what they are doing. I think Joy aired an interview of an individual who says that, I think Erasmus asked him, does he know the impact of what he's doing? And he said, listen, if Galamsey was, the water bodies were going to kill them, the person who started that activity in the communities around 100 years, he would have died by now. So those people don't even understand the impact of what they are doing. So if you are able to have these creatives, put them either in music or put them in videos, act them out, it would definitely go a long way to let people understand what is happening. Kwame, it's serious to find that about 70% of our water bodies are destroyed. And that's alarming. If people get to know that, listen, they can't even drink water. Again, there are people who feel that, okay, for them, they have boreholes in their homes and so they don't care. But they forget that all these water bodies are connected somehow. The surface water is the same thing you are getting in your homes. So I think creatives have a role to play. If we're able to have them either put them through music, just as the politicians are using them for their campaigns and their mounting all those stages. If these people could also come together, let's take a critical look at when Ghana wanted to fight AIDS and all that. You see how all these people came together and we had all these campaign songs against HIV and all that. It was very influential. It was very powerful. So why can't we have our people also do the same thing and work around some of these things? People listen to them. You see how people have been critical on Sarkodie and saying, why has Sarkodie not spoken and all that? I mean, we could have said Sarkodie is just one voice. But how come he's not speaking and then people are calling for him to speak? It's because they feel he's influential and whatever he says could go a long way. Why has Stonebwoy, Stonebwoy has a song out there that talks about it. But if these people could come together, then we could feel the impact of whatever it is that they do. So I think it's a right call for the creatives to also get involved and actually speak against this thing.
Awesome. Thank you very much, NYDJ. NYDJ is a broadcaster with YFM in Kumasi. He just spoke to us about the situation in Kumasi now and the creative's perspective on this matter. Galamsey. Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. Let me go to Cape Coast and speak to Manike, who is with ATL FM, also a broadcaster. Hello, Manike.
Hello, Kwame.
Better, what's in then?
BBA.
Now, how serious is the situation of Galamsey in Cape Coast?
It's very dire. I think that we've been drumming home this conversation on our national platforms and our local platforms. When it comes to Cape Coast, as we speak, some parts of Cape Coast we don't have potable drinking water. For the past 2 weeks now, in my area and some parts of Cape Coast, Agri, Cortes, Pedu, and some parts of Elmina, we're struggling to get clean water to use at home simply because Galamsey has gotten center stage of all these water bodies that the sexual human treating plants use to treat our waters and send out to Cape Coast and Ghana in its entirety. So it's really a thing that we really have to come together and then push our way because it's killing us. It's not only destroying the water bodies, but it's also affecting humans as well because we consume these waters, we use it for everything. And just as you played on the show, Erastus documentary, people are giving birth to children which are unhealthy. And so it's a big issue. We don't have to politicize this, but we have to because people in power are supposed to call the shots. I mean, I can't just walk into Joy FM now and say, I want to talk, I want to speak, I want to use your airwaves. I have to go through a channel. Who is the first gentleman? Who is the man that is supposed to call the shot? It's the president. For some time now, he's saying that he will put his job on the line. But these are all rhetorics. They're all conversations we've been having. But we are not seeing pragmatic measures to push away this Galamsey menace because it's affecting us directly. And Kwame, if we are not careful, we are going to be talking about these issues, but it will still come back to nothing.
But Manike, have creatives in Cape Coast been talking about Galamsey?
Yes, on our airwaves, we have been doing what we can do. But as to collectively coming together to foster this agenda, I'm not seeing that. Simply because we've also allowed our spaces to be used. You know, if we come together, just like NY was saying, the campaign we made for HIV/AIDS and all that, we can come together, amass our voices, and push this agenda. But we have been bought, directly and indirectly. You come together, and then people will say, "Oh, the young kakra, yama abanum the kakra, and these are all issues that are breeding misfortunes amongst the creatives because we are divided. But if hitherto we were together and were to push one voice, Episode alone can push this. He has a song which is massive. I've been rotating that on my show, but he alone can do it. Just this morning, I saw Bakuma also put out a skit together. But all of the to me, we need the voices. We have to come together. Actors Guild, Five-Part, music, everybody. This is not a joke, Kwame. It's serious. In Cape Coast, we are suffering.
Okay, Manike, we will talk some more on this particular topic some other time, but thanks so much for the time this evening here on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z, and we've been delving into Galamsey conversation from the creative's perspective. Let me come in-house now and do what I call the closing remarks. Fortunately, the time is almost up. We've done a lot of discussion off mic, off air. Let me start with Uncle Ken. Yeah, yes, he again. Any 1 minute for everybody, Uncle Ken. Yes. That's it.
Kwame,
Uncle Lou.
The way the conversation went today.
Yes, sir.
We didn't have enough time for what
so there's a part 2 next week.
For what the creatives can actually do.
I agree.
To help in the fight. So I do hope that next week.
Yeah. Producer says next week there's a part 2.
That.
Yeah.
But Chief.
Okay.
Me and Chief.
Okay. Let me come to episode who has a new song on Galamsey. This is Chobui.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going.
Well, I just like I said, everything I want to address, I put it in my music.
Yes.
You know, and then I would actually plead that yes, some of these things need to be passed on as educational materials to people who are even in those spaces where they don't know about Twitter and they don't know about these things, but through what they see, the kids, you know, they adapt early and then we'll be able to learn. So we should all come our own little small ways we can all support and then, you know, address some of these issues here.
Okay, and Kwesi Oteng,
I think the corporate bodies of Ghana should join forces with Episode to push this particular agenda.
Yes.
Okay. You understand? Because
I
mean, a song is out. If the creative body sees that somebody did something that is informative and we can support, then you'll see more creatives coming out.
That's true.
Aside that, I want Ghana to have a patriotic mindset and effort against Galamsey. It's not a moment of passing blames. We've had successive governments facing the same problem and trying to solve it, you know, and it will require a bipartisan patriotic mindset for a whole nation to come together to educate ourselves and say that no, we won't pass this opportunity of change to another. We won't turn the responsibility to another generation.
Yeah.
This generation will be the generation to solve this.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Kwesi Oteng, and then to the chief. One. Next week we will come back. Next week.
My central thesis in this whole Galamsey is that our problem is the state.
Okay.
And the state in political science encompasses the different actors. At the very top of the state is the government in power. And then all the organs of government, parliament, including even the various political parties that make up the state. And I feel that once our governance and state system has been ineffective, no matter the ideas, no matter how brilliant the policies are, if we do not have political will to implement the laws, to implement those policies, to hold people accountable, to hold ourselves, because we ourselves are complicit in the deed, accountable, then this problem is only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So now the big question is, how do we change the state approach to Galamsey? For me, it's not rocket science.
All right.
It comes down to the political will. Until we have leadership that is willing to exercise its power, just as how we've seen the leadership exercise power in the incarceration. Uncle Ken, I know Uncle Ken has a big issue with me. And this week we'll expand further on this. But that has been my central thesis, and we will continue to underline all the points that I make, that until the state acts, from the district assembly level all the way to the presidency, if that system fails, then there is no way we'll only be pouring water in a leaking basket.
Thank you, Chief Mumin. A big thank you to you, Uncle Ken. And thank you, Kwesi Oteng, NYDJ, Manike, DKB, Chief Mumin here, everybody who played a role today on this particular show. It's been great having you speak to Galamsey, getting into the creative perspective on the show. My name is Kwame Dadzie, show produced by Philip Nye, supported by Anita Tay. Abdul Wadud has been on social media supporting us with all the social media support, everything regarding our social media today. We are leaving. Next week we'll be here, but don't forget this show was brought to you by